Okay, welcome to another Tuesday Night Shiur. I know it's chaval. We're already 20 minutes into this shiur, but we just put it on the camera. This week's parasha is what? Mishpatim. And we just heard from the other side, from the left field, that Mishpatim is all about what? Dinim, laws, day-to-day life, business, and so on and so forth. Last week parasha, what happened in last week's parasha?
We got the Torah.
We got the Torah. Right? We got the Torah Kedosha. And what happened after we got the Torah? We didn't know how to do anything. Imagine someone coming to you and says, if I give this present to you, you're going to do exactly what's in the present? What are you going to say? No, what's inside of it? Tell me what's inside. You know what we said? We'll do it. We'll do it. Not, I'm waiting for money to come to me, then I'm going to go to yeshiva to learn. No! I'm going! No questions. And then comes the whole dinim of Mishpatim. And it's funny that this week's parasha starts with which mitzvah does it start with? No, don't get too excited. Huh? Slaves. Talmid Chacham you're getting married to. Look at this. Ki tikneh eved ivri, when you will buy a Jewish slave. Why? Why does the Torah Kedosha this week start with a Jewish slave? And of all, start with tefillin.
We were slaves.
Shabbat. Mezuzah, kashrut, nidah.
Just came out of Egypt. We were slaves for years.
We were slaves for years. We were slaves for only 82 years. You know that?
Still a long time.
Imagine the whole story of all the movies you watch when you were a kid and all that was only for 82 years. They make it sound we were slaves for thousands of years. We're picking up bricks and we can't move. 82 years! Karochi, only two and a half generations. 3 generations. That's it.
210?
Yeah, also.
We were trying for that long, but we were mamash only slaves for 82 years.
It's not that bad.
Nothing, right? It's not that bad. They made this whole fuss that we're over here cleaning sewers for Paro. What is this nonsense? No, besach hakol, 82 years.
So why don't we have anything connected to the number 82?
Oh, we do actually.
I've never heard of it though. Like, you know, they have gematrias and connections.
You're too Sephardi.
No.
And gematrias and everything. Okay, so I'll tell you. You want to gematria? I'll tell you this week. Lean in it. So why? Why does slavery start? And he answered, Rabbi Shlomo answered, and he said something. He said, why are you looking at me? He's your uncle. You have to kiss his hands. Rabbi Shlomo, he said as far, no? What did he say? He said, because we were slaves. We were slaves. How are we slaves? How are we slaves now? How about that?
Phone, money.
Money, following trends, living a lifestyle that we really don't understand, but a lifestyle that we think we understand. All these things is being an eved, is being a slave. Because what's a free person, huh? Babajana, what's a free person? Don't be too shy. Talk a little bit. What's a free person, Natana?
Person who has no attachment.
Person that can control his desire. That's a free person.
Give me more. I want more than that.
Person that accepts it is just a tool of Hashem.
What? Oh, explain that.
As in, like, his will is the same as Hashem's will. He's happy to do what he's supposed to do in this world. He does it just
someone
exactly
who knows his
Hashem
role.
wants.
Someone who knows his
Ain't
role.
okay with that.
Exterior validation.
A person that has pure submission to God is a free person. Submission. How is that possible?
Meaning,
So every husband's going to come and say, I submit to my wife not because I want to, because I'm forced to. I'm submitting. How come it's not working? How come I don't feel happy?
because they're never happy.
Because you're not really... That's another shiloh. We're not getting into that right now. But it's because you're not really submitting. Submission means you want to do the ratzon, the desire of the other person or the other identity. How many of us can actually say we want to do ratzon Hashem? Don't say, I do. So why do you miss yeshiva today if you do? You miss yeshiva today because you don't really want to. Focus. Right? You don't really want.
Well, you want.
What?
You want.
So then why? How come? Not you specifically. For that person that missed to go to yeshiva today, why did he miss? If you want to do Ratzon Hashem,
Same thing, a person that doesn't want to give a get to his wife, in reality he wants, he just has it's
Whoa. You threw something from left field and I want to talk about it.
What's the reason that
No. You just said something very crucial.
That's the same, you can apply it.
The Gemara says, first of all, before I say what the Gemara says, what did you say? A guy that
doesn't want to give a get to his wife, I mean, force him to.
Yeah, but doesn't because the Gemara says because he really down in his heart he
wants to, but he just doesn't has it whatever.
Okay.
It's the same reason here, but I want to.
But if you what does submission mean? Johnny, what does the word submission mean?
To give yourself up.
To what?
To give yourself up.
You say that last word you wanted to say. 100%. 100% means there is no what I want. It's 100%. What you want, no one cares.
So that's it. One thing has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does. Because once you say I have a Yetzer Hara and that's why I'm not doing, it's not 100%.
Deep down you want to do.
And that's not what I asked you. Deep down I want to be a tzaddik, but I'm not a tzaddik.
That's it.
Then what? Well, what does that help me? Doesn't help me.
Isn't it to wanting like the first step? Like wanting to.
Correct, but you gotta take action, Lamaisa. Let's stop. Let's leave the Dzitzki Sad mindset. What's a Dzitzki Sad mindset? But I want, but I this. No, I don't care what you want, what you this, and what you that. Lamaisa, what are you doing, right? You open the Gemara in Yeshiva, right? You look at the Gemara, right? I want to understand you, but I don't. So it's okay. Is that good enough? Is that good enough?
No.
Absolutely not. Devil, you're going to sit by the Gemara for 2 hours a day, not knowing one word? What's the point? What is the point by sitting by a book all day? Might as well leave and go make a living. So if your want doesn't reach a level of doing, then your want is pointless. So too, the point is to submit to the Eibishter, to God. Submission means 100%. Any submission that's not 100% is not submission. I was collecting money for someone, right? So I know a couple of rich people. I know more than a couple. I know a lot of rich people. I know one very rich man. I called him. I said, "Listen to me, Habibi. You got to give a certain amount of money." Now, unfortunately, this guy, I don't know, some people, when you ask them for money, the earthquake that happened in Greece is nothing compared to what happens to them in their heart. Nothing. He was giving me a whole spiel. He makes the amount I asked him, he makes it maybe within a half an hour. Within a half an hour, he makes that kind of dough. He was shaking, and I know him very close. And I told him, Habibi, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, I'm coming to your office tomorrow and you're writing me a check. Because I know you personally. And if you tell me no, you're just a bird. He looked at me, he's like, okay, come to my office tomorrow, pick up the check. The check is going to be ready. It's going to be, my secretary is going to give it to you. I said, I don't need your secretary to give it to me. I want you to give it to me. Now again, this is a guy I know for years, a guy that I'm friends with, a guy I do business with too. You can't go to any person and talk like that, right? You have to also be a chacham, right? And then he gave it to me. So I called one of his partners today. And I told him, I said, what's the difficulty? That he was shaking so much to give me this amount. It wasn't a lot, it was $1,000. It was nothing. He's like, some people, they just don't understand the value of giving. For them, giving means why should I give? Go work. Why should I give? That's because in their hashkafa, they weren't trained that there's a cycle of the world. There's people that take, people that give, people that nurture, people that teach, and so on and so forth. And we as a people have to do the complete thing. But in order to start anything, we have to understand one thing. If we don't submit to God, then what's the point of everything? What's the point? There's a machloket in the Gemara. Kidai, was it worth it for a man to be created or not to be created? There's a machloket in the Gemara. Was it worth it for us to be created or not? You know what they pass in the halacha at the end? It's not worth it for us to be created. What's the point?
How is that possible?
It's
That
not.
Hashem wouldn't create us if it wasn't supposed to be.
Because we have too many desires.
How can a
So
human
you're going
know
into the practical detail, but there's more majority of people do more damage on this earth than more good. So is it worth it?
100%.
This
Yes or no?
world- this world-
If I buy a car, right? If I buy a car, the second I buy it, and I put my body in the driver's seat, and I leave park, and I go on drive. I didn't drive it yet. The value of the car goes down. Goes down. When a human being is on this earth and doesn't do what he's meant to do, automatically what does he do? He devalues his own worth.
himself.
Correct, whatever the case is. So, majority, if you look at it, unfortunately, the Gemara says it's not worth it for us to be created. What's the point? Loki that.
It's too late, Rabbi. That's it.
Correct.
Damage is
So
done.
here comes the whole machloka between Rabbi Manis Friedman and Rabbi Mizrahi. Are we needed? Are we not needed? And it comes down to that we have to be needed. Why? Because we're not worth. It's no point for us to be created. The reason why we're created is because we have a purpose. We're so valued that we need to do something.
Why does
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Give you an example, right? I want to word it properly so I don't confuse anybody. You see, the word need, this is where everyone gets a mistake. It does not necessarily mean there's something wrong with the person that needs it. I can be a complete person, but I can still need things. I want you guys to understand that. If I need something, doesn't mean that I'm 50-50. I can be 100%. But at times, to succeed or to do whatever I'm meant to do, I can need other people to help me, and I can need a screwdriver or whatever the thing is. So I want you first to understand that concept. Need doesn't mean there's a chisar and there's something missing in you. Now you can ask your question.
Why does God need us to fulfill these things that He sent us down for? Like, what's the point of all this?
Because if not, why else did He create you?
But we all came for specifics as if it's needed.
You answered your own question right now.
But why is that though?
I'm explaining to you. So there's a why and how. So God created the world. Can I get more seltzer, please? Thank you. God created the world, and when He created the world, He created it in a format that He made Himself, quote unquote, absent in our eyes. He did that way purposely. Why did He do that? Because if we would see godliness all over, would we have a freedom of doing good or wrong?
I get that.
Absolutely not, right? So He created this world in order for us to do stuff that it seems like He cannot do. Now, why did He even do that to begin with? Right? I'm gonna answer you with a story. You know the organization Boine Oilam, Building a World? It's an organization that gives money for people that have problems with having kids. Fertility issues. So there was this big gevir, very rich man, and he was married for a very long time and he didn't have kids. And he tried this organization, that organization. Unfortunately, he couldn't have kids. And he goes to his rabbi and he says, what was the point for God giving me all my wealth in my life? He was filthy rich. If I can't share it with anyone, if I can't leave it for someone, if I can't give it to someone to enjoy from. See, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Ein Sof. He's endless. But endless can only be revealed when there's something to reveal it to. Hashem only created this world in order for us to see that endlessness. Because in that case, what is even the purpose of it? What is the point of anything? The point is to give. He's Rachum, we should be Rachum. We say in Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. He's merciful, we should be merciful. Why we have a mitzvah of tzedakah? You know, where is this concept of giving? You know, when a person gives, he's actually reaching the ultimate level of godliness. Because the only purpose of why God created this world was to give. And automatically when you give, what happens? You're emulating God. Copy-paste. Because in essence, does he really need us to be complete? He doesn't need us to be complete. He's complete. So in that case, what does he need us for? In order for the world to have a revealment. Because without us, there won't be a revealment. Because if, in that case, who is he revealing himself to? Himself? Thinking a mirror and saying, wow, I'm endless?
The Malachim.
He created it. He doesn't need Malachim.
No, he doesn't. But the same way that he wants us, he wants the Malachim.
He wants everything that he created, but the purpose wasn't meant for Malachim. The purpose was meant for us, humans.
This whole world, everything's created for us.
בשבילך נברא העולם, the פרקי אבות הזה. בשבילי נברא העולם. The
So why do we
world was
die?
created for you.
So why do we die?
Oh, good question. You die not to take advantage. A person can say, I'll live forever. Pust ya kaifu сейчас. Pust, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do all the shtuyot. And later in my life, I'm gonna chozer b'tshuva, and then again, I'm gonna give tzedakah, Rabbi. I'm gonna steal. But the money that I steal, I'm gonna give a quarter to charity. What do you think, Rabbi? I'm a good stealer. I'm not a bad stealer. I'm gonna live lavishly. That's why. Do we know the day we die?
No.
No. Why?
Because we were prepared for it.
No, just because you shouldn't take advantage of the system. That's why we have a mitzvah every night, Kriyat Shema L'mitah, to say what? Vidui, Ashamnu Baganu. You know we have to say that before we go to sleep. Every single night. It's in part of the Kriyat Shema L'mitah. Why? Why? Because God forbid, if you did something wrong, you should be forgiven. Hashem says, even though you sin, I still want you to have only good life.
So you say before, if we die, if we sin, we say Shema, let's say we're forgiven
Not
for
Shema,
everything.
if you do Vidui.
So if we do Vidui before we pass away, let's say we're forgiven for everything?
You're forgiven, but you still have to go through a rectification
For
the sin.
we're forgiven.
No, so there's a big difference. There is repair, and then there's demolition. You know the difference? You ever went to construction site?
Yeah.
How much faster is to do a small repair than to do a whole demolition? Much faster, right? Same thing over here. I'm gonna give you a story of Rav Yehuda Patai.
Can you relate that?
1 second.
Can
I'll
you
give you a
relate?
story. You're getting excited, Johnny, today.
I'm very
I
proud.
see the tea is getting to you.
That's for the goal.
Refuah shlema? It would be better refuah if you would have a kippah, but it's okay. Now,
Let's see this.
you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. Put the napkin. Yes, it's good enough. It's good enough. You put a napkin, it's good enough.
Put your hood.
Now,
So heavy.
you're not offended, right? I know my chavre. There was a man that came to Rav Yehuda Pataya. Rav Yehuda Pataya lived less than 100 years ago. He lived in Bavel, Iraq, and then he immigrated to Israel. Eretz HaKodesh. He came to Rav Yehuda Pataya and he said, I slept with my daughter-in-law. No one make faces. I slept with my daughter-in-law. And I want to do tshuva. And Rav Yehuda Pataya made a tikkun for him. He has to fast, he has to do certain things. A couple years later, this guy died. And he came to Rav Yehuda Pataya in a dream. And he said, I want to tell you what happened to me. He said, I was in the middle of getting judged and they told me I have to go to Gehenna. And I was on my way to Gehenna. But before I walked into the door, an angel pulled me into another door. And he put me on a quote-unquote surgical bed. And he took a knife and he dissected the Avera from my body.
Wow.
He went to my Ever, to my private spot. He took a knife and he cut it and he took the Avera out.
That's crazy.
Just because I did Teshuvah and I did a Tikkun. And if I wouldn't have done it, I would have right now been suffering. I believe in hell. I believe it in a bit different kind of scale, but yes. When a person sins, there's Teshuvah. Teshuvah means I'm sorry. Sorry allows you to go to hell. Tikkun, rectification of it, gives you the opportunity not to even enter into Gehenna. Correct. Why? Why? He did a tikkun for him.
But he still went to hell.
He didn't go to hell. You didn't hear the story. I'm going to say it again. He was on his way to Gehenna. Before he walked in, an angel pulled him into another room. And he said that he was describing how the angel looked. This is so ugly, disgusting, scary. Just seeing it, you want to die. Imagine already being dead and wanting to die after you're dead. You're laughing. Don't laugh too much. But yes.
Did it hurt? I'm just saying, what is
Did it hurt? Imagine seeing the scariest thing and you just want to run away. You just don't know how to run away.
Yeah, but it's not physical pain. It's just a fear. It's like a nightmare. You don't really feel the pain. You just feel the fear because you think it's real.
Is getting embarrassed less of a pain than getting physical pain?
Listen, physical pain, you
Don't
tell
answer.
me surgery and...
Be careful of what you say.
I'll say to an extent.
I think if you're in front of your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, your wife, your mistress if you have, and if your kids are all there and suddenly you're getting shamed, I think you'd rather get hit by a bus than get shamed. As they say, the darkest secrets a person has, only he will ever know. Why? Share it. No, Rabbi, no. That's between me, the devil, and God. Why? It's too embarrassing. Same thing. That's why we have to do tikkun. We're in the last week of Shovavim. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't like to talk about these things. But rectification. A person that went out with a girl for so many years, and he married her at the end, right? But he also did shtiyot with her. He did shtiyot. I'm going to give an example. What is shtiyot? You don't necessarily need to have physical intimacy. How about if you did oral?
Wow, what's oral?
Are you dumb or are you retarded?
I'm saying, like, what do you mean oral? What is it? Oh, I thought you meant talking shit, because oral can be speaking.
You're so cute! If everyone had your idea what oral is, I'm telling you.
I promise that.
Shlomo, just smack him, right? Okay, right? So,
I thought you meant that.
that's it. That's hala. We got it. The camera guy, we all got it. We know what you thought it was. That's it. Now, I'm not cutting it out. I want people to know, right? Right? Don't do that with your eyes, right?
Yeah, he did that.
So let's say, you think they don't have to do tshuva?
They married her wife.
What do you mean? They sinned! They sinned! What do you mean they got married? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Isn't the marriage the tikkun?
No! This is such B and then an S. It's not true. You gotta do tshuva. You gotta rectify. You guys gotta fast.
Do we make our own tikkunim?
No, do we follow the Ariya Kadosh?
Meaning for each sin there's like a specific...
Yes.
The guy and the girl is fast?
Of course. What? You think she's exempt? She was the cause. When a woman walks not sanu on the street and the man thinks about her and does shtuyot, she has to do tshuva for that. What do you think? She's free? She's off the hook? I'm tzanu. You're not tzanu if you wear a dress that all your body parts are popping out. Excuse me and I'm sorry. And I don't care how hurt you feel. But if you wear that pencil skirt and that tight shirt, what do you think is going to happen? Why do you think those guys are talking to you? Can you explain to me why? How come? Because they're bored? No, because they're thinking of you, they want to do shtiyot with you. That's why. Let's be honest. Let's not live in a trala land. Wow, why are we living in a trala land? Say the truth. Say it honesty, right? Why else do you do it? Oh, because you feel bad for her? Please save me your garbage to somebody else.
We wanted the cure.
Hey, you heard that? You heard the shot? I love it. I love this. Jews are such a kavsachut they have. They want to do kiruv. Heard that? They want to do kiruv. What do you want to kiruv? You want to kiruv your private spots to hers? You want to make kiruv? You want to make kiruv both of them together, Rabbi?
Oh,
we're doing
no.
kiruv, Rabbi.
Oh, no.
Save me. Enough. I know what you're talking about. Don't embarrass yourself enough.
Thank you, John.
Right? No kiruv, no shmirov, no biruv. Forget about it. You want to do avirot. So you have to repent. You have to repent. I'm sorry.
Can we have that book where it says all the tikkunim for each sin, so that way we can go, line by line?
Tell me what sin, I'll tell you what the tikkun is. Tell me one.
Oral.
Oral is considered zer lavatala, and you have to fast 84 times.
Wait, what?
In a row. Yes, congratulations. Welcome to the tikkun world.
Yeah, we're all dead. Karochi, we're all dead.
Nah, I'm waiting for him.
So wait,
He's saying for him, Yom Kippur doesn't fix it.
so if somebody...
What is it, wait, 84 times?
Yeah, it does. It's
like
Rabbi,
a Ramadan
yeah, it does, Rabbi, it does. Yom Kippur itself.
No, I'm saying
She's so gaining. Today we found out that the two babies, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, was murdered by the hands of animals, butchers. And you're comparing what I'm saying to them?
No.
I know, I'm just teasing you. Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying in terms
I'm
of
carving you.
84 times in your lifetime?
He
Or
means,
84 times
he means
in a row?
every time you did the action. Let's say somebody did it
According to the halakha, anytime you do a stroke, you heard what I'm telling you? Halakha, if you're sleeping with a woman, every stroke you do, you have to fast. For every stroke.
Baby.
You heard what I just told you?
There's no coming back from
You
that.
you heard what I told you? It's a Gemara, it's not even me. Right? Now, Baruch Hashem, we have the Ari, we have the Ben Ish Chai, we have the Balatanya, and they gave us a more practical thing that we can
There
do.
will be no coming back from that.
There, once you go,
Let's say somebody
you don't
lasts
come-
40
you know,
minutes.
you know what I'm talking about?
Imagine every show.
Hold on.
40 minutes.
What can we do?
Okay, we'll talk about that at a different time. It's not important.
Rabbi, I feel like that topic gets out like proportion when like one rabbi says this, like, well, where did they get 84 times? Where's the... Do they does God tell them that? Were they in hell to know exactly what it was, or they just derive some kind of...
I don't make up anything. I can bring you, show it to you in the book. I'm going to show it to you.
Like, where did they get it from? I understand.
The Ari learned from Eliyahu Navi.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
The Ari learned from Eliyahu Navi. Whatever we know, we get from the Ari HaKadosh. The first step is doing tshuva, never doing this sin again.
Wait, so first it's every stroke. Now it's 84 times total. Like, which one is it?
Okay, so there is, it gets broken down, and of course no one can fast 84 times in a row. Or if you could, it's very difficult. Before I'm going to continue, there was a lady, an 84-year-old lady that went to Rav Gamliel Rabinovich. He's Rosh HaYeshiva of Yeshivat HaMekubalim Shar Shamayim in Eretz Yisrael. Listen to this story. When I heard the story, I got goosebumps. She went to him this year, Shovavim. You know, there's a thing, it's called Shovavim, where you fast. She went, she says, I have to do Hatarat Nedarim. I have to break my vow. She said, what? She said, since I was a young girl, since I was in my 20s, until now, 84, I used to fast every single day. Every day, from Alot until Shkia. Every day. That means from around 5:45 until 6.
PM.
For these 6 weeks. But now that I'm 84, I'm too old and I can't. I have no power.
You don't tell it to
Can you do
Keter
Can you do Hatarat Nedarim for me? The rabbi said he got goosebumps. When I heard the story, I was shocked.
Since 20 to 84?
When she was in her 20s until she was in her 80s. 60 years she's been doing this.
That's what
Nothing
she
to
would
do.
want.
Like, what's the point?
She did it for you. She did it for me. What? You think because one person does, another person doesn't have benefit? You give tzedakah today, you don't understand how many thousands of people are getting schar because of your tzedakah that you never met, you never saw, and you don't even know about.
If I use that defense after 120, I'm going to be in trouble already.
You don't need to use it as a defense.
I'm saying, like...
You just have to do it. Now, of course, we're in the last week of Shovavim. Some shuls do a tikkun. We do a tikkun in this Beit Knesset. You can rectify the sins.
They rectify all of them?
Certain ones. I did certain rectifications for certain sins that I never did in my life. Like sleeping with the Goya. I never slept with a Goya in my life. Ever. I'm proud to say it. Never slept with a Goya.
You talking about when they tied your ankles?
Never slept with a Goya. I never even slept with any other woman besides my wife in my life. I gotta be honest with you. I'm proud to say it. When people say, oh, you don't know what it is, I don't need to know what it is, my G. I know one, and that's all that I need to know. I'm happy. More than that, I don't need. Right? There's rectifications. Why did I do it? I tell you why I did it. Now I'm going to tell you, you're going to get freaked out, but I have to tell you anyways. You have to do teshuvah in machshava, dibur, and maaseh. Even for your thoughts, you also have to do teshuvah. That means you have to be, God wants us to be so pure and devoted that our thoughts are strictly devoted to God. Can I give an example? How are you going to feel if God forbid, not you. How would you feel if your friend tells you one day, God forbid, he's a goy, that his wife says when she's with him, she thinks about other men. But she doesn't cheat. But she thinks about other men because sometimes that arouses her more. What would you think about such a person? Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer. Right? It's a killer, right? It's a killer. It will kill you. How about us? We're kadosh. We're holy. We're holy for God. We're holy. And we should go and think about other things that are impure. For what? For who? How was the basketball game? It's good? He's still looking at it. Huh? Can you imagine such a thing?
I heard it's not a sin to think about it just for and not commit the.
No, it's worse to think about it because that's easier actually. You know, right?
No.
I don't know. Worse. He went to a different level right now.
It's so easy to think about.
Yeah,
Don't kill everybody, Habibi. Take it easy. Don't do street
I
down
think we
all.
have to kill
But in
this
this
world.
world, I don't think it's possible to not think about
Listen,
sin.
if you have a problem with this thing, doesn't mean now you have to put everyone under that category.
No, it's just
No, but I'm saying
96%. There you go. Not everyone. Here, I'll make it nice.
Hey, Jews are what 0.00004%. So we're part of that. That's what 4% that you didn't include.
So I'm talking about like the pleasure. If you don't get pleasure from the thought, and you're just thinking of the sin for just like a brief moment, then it's not a sin. Like if you want to rob a bank tomorrow and you're like, oh, I'm gonna plan it out or whatever.
I don't understand how a man can think about another woman physically.
I wasn't talking about in that sense. I was talking about it in like the robbing a bank sense. He thought it out. It's obviously illegal. It's obviously a sin because you're stealing, right? But you don't end up doing it.
Okay,
That's a thought, though. You thought
Correct.
it was sin.
correct. It's a bit different, and I'll tell you why. You see, when a man starts, this is only a difference for the halachot of zima, of physical intimacy. When a man starts thinking about a woman, his body starts to react. His body parts start to change. There are certain things that could come out, and a man starts to salivate. His body changes. How does that happen? Ever thought of that? It's amazing how God created us. It's such a beautiful thing. When you're thinking about robbing or something like that, your body could change too, but it's very unlikely. Unless you're a serial killer and you really want to kill somebody. No, seriously. Your body starts to become more physical and you want to kill somebody. So that's why this sin is such a crucial. I don't even know how we got into this topic. I hate talking about this topic. Hate it. A guy's begging me tomorrow to make a shiur about it. I said, no way, Jose. Don't call me for these things. Why? Because I have a Masorah from my Rabbein that told me the more a man thinks about it, the more he falls into the sin. Learn one thing. You sinned, You move past it and you continue living. This generation is stuck on the sin because everyone likes to talk about it. Don't talk about it. You sinned, you do tshuva, you continue living your life, you get married one day. Hopefully after you get married, when the tava will be less, then you will do the rectification process and so on and
It
so
could be less.
I don't let any of my students do any tikkunim about these things before they get married. Because my Rebbeim used to tell me, don't do it until after you get married. Because it hurts. Why? You do it and then suddenly, God forbid,
You feel
you
again.
fall again. So how do you feel?
Like garbage.
So my Rebbeim used to always tell me, you give it to that tzedakah, you do whatever you gotta do, but still continue living. Okay, let's get back to this week's parasha.
Yeah.
Okay, go, ask your question.
Isn't that kind of like setting yourself up for failure?
What's the failure?
To do it again anyway?
Of course, you're not doing it purposely. You don't have a clock like today, this time I'm gonna do a avera.
But like you know you're gonna do it again. So
No, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know
Why don't
anything.
you do the tikkun
You
right
don't
then?
know. Maybe you're gonna die right now. God forbid, not you.
God forbid.
Why don't you do the tikkun right then and there then?
Because most humans, like for example, like you, like you, if you do the tikkun and tomorrow you'll sin again, you'll assume that whatever you did was pointless, even though it's not. And that's why we don't tell you now. Don't continue this conversation because you're just trying to play with me like a dreidel and just accept it because you know it's right. Accept it and say okay. That's it. Very good. Let's continue. Does anyone have any questions before I continue? No? Julian, why are you laughing? No? You have any questions? Okay, so let's get back about the woman. Women will go to Gehenna faster than men. I said it. I said it. I don't care. I have to say it. Why? Whatever Gehenna means. Why? Because if a woman is a chotel machtit rabin, if she causes other men to, how they say, crack the neck, how do they say?
Their make or break.
Break the neck, right? They go to hell.
Their make or break people.
Correct.
It's all on them.
Correct.
She can
When a woman can say, when she gets that dress for her friend's wedding or for whatever occasion, not because it looks good, but because I want everyone else to think it looks good, that's a problem. Whoa, you said, I see someone hungry chico over here. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Hungry wolves.
Seriously.
Wolves? You like to call them wolves. I said dog, you said wolves. Hi, it's okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Right?
Depends on the day.
Why? Why? Just don't be a cat, that's all I'm asking you, right? Because a person shouldn't be the cause of other people to fall.
It says it, stumbling block before.
Lifnei iver lo titen mikshol. Do not put a stumbling block in front of a blind person.
Harsh Kadesh.
Why? Because you know they're gonna fall. How are you gonna go? Or for example, I never understood this, until today. I didn't think it existed anymore. How a bar mitzvah boy, you're doing a bar mitzvah party for him and you're doing strippers.
Yeah, right.
What the flippin' hell is going on?
Not just that, people do dancing with the mom in the middle. That's so
But wait, forget. You know what? I let that go.
No.
You bring Zonai! The guys, you're having bar mitzvah. Today's bar mitzvah day! You see a woman with her whole thing coming out, she's dancing. What does this kid know? What are you doing to the kid? You're making him into a dog.
Can't even put on film. But there's a girl that's
I'm talking about in the nighttime. Where are you? That's how you don't have a party. I also don't have a party, Baruch Hashem, right? So what happened? They go and they bring this zonot over here. Not one, not two, 4, 5.
He's in the middle.
And you know what's funny? You know what I love about it? You see all the. You know who's more excited? Not the boy. The father of the boy! It's so geschmack for him that what happens? The mother of the boy now wants to kill the father and the zonot. That then they go home and they have a whole machloket. How come you danced with them? You let your husband invite them. How dumb can you be? How can you do that? The kid is going into Torah mitzvot. This is the day he's understanding that he's becoming responsible for Torah mitzvot. And what are you showing to him? Zona. New thing, we got cushy singers now. And we bring all this shtuyot. What's the waste of money? What are you doing? It's so stupid. I'm sorry for my language. It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. It doesn't even make sense. For what you're doing it? For what? I don't understand it. I wish someone can explain it to me. Why are you doing that? Or you're getting married, right? why are you doing things so provocative for other people to stare at you? Ya Habibi, why are you doing that? You're not scared. You're not scared of basic things. Yeah, there is a concept of Ayn Hara. I believe in it 100%.
It's their day. They want to be.
What is that? You want a day? Go to the hotel, have a good day over there. Kai food over there. Their day, their night. Zan, kafon, do whatever you want there. Do whatever you want. Enjoy yourself. But why does the whole world gotta see it?
They want to hear. She has such a beautiful dress. Oh my
What's that
God.
shtiot haile? And then we cry that 4 months later they're getting divorced.
That's crazy.
Literally, 4 months
No,
later.
no.
Literally. Why getting divorced? Because they were too busy on proposing on the other side of the world and having the most beautiful wedding that they forgot how to live. What does the Torah tell us? Whose slave you have to be? Who do you have to submit to?
Hashem.
Who do you have to submit to? Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You want to know why? Because even though it's difficult for you, I know it's difficult, but if you submit to Him, He'll make sure that your whole life He will submit to you.
That'd be a question for you.
And if you won't be able to submit to Him,
You're screwed.
not that you're screwed, you're living a life
Emptiness.
with a pure selfishness. So you're like that child, whenever you go to the store and your father or mother says you can't have it, you start whining. But God is not like this generation, parents. He's like the old generation. Cry. I don't give a... Cry. Stay there. Someone's gonna take you home. Homeless man, take him home. That's what kind of God we have. He doesn't fall for it. No. So why do we do wrong? What's your question?
In regards to marriage,
Yes, my love.
what's the sin if somebody intermarries? Like a Jew marries a goy? No, I'll tell you why.
You want to marry a Goya?
No, not me personally. It's like I know of situations that are happening right now, like personally, and
Why does he want to marry a Goya?
Get down.
why does anyone want to get married to somebody? Because they have feelings for each other, they care about each other, I don't know. Why does anyone get married?
Many different reasons. I'm asking you a simple question.
likes
The
to
case
go-
that you're talking about, why is he getting married to her? What was his initial cause to actually go out with her?
I don't know the specific. I just know that again they like each other. They and they're getting.
You
married.
like your dog. You marry your dog?
Obviously,
Again, I'm not comparing no one to a dog. I want to be clear, right? But let's say I like dogs.
Sure.
Beautiful. I like to sleep with them, pet them, shower with them. Should I marry? I like it, but what's the problem?
Maybe I just lost my brain cells. I'm sorry.
I know, because you're thinking about me actually marrying
No,
the dog.
no.
That's what just crossed your mind. I'm not dumb. You're just thinking about that. Rabbi, your dog? Oh my, what kind of dog would it be? Huh?
Right, but in general, why do people get married to each other? Because they have feelings for whatever feelings are. They have feelings for each other. They like each other in their company, and they feel like they can have a family one day. I don't know. That's just the reality of it. Why does anyone get married?
Let's give you the benefit
And
of
this,
that.
let's say the father is Jewish, the mother is not Jewish, but she grew up Jewish, whatever the case was, and now they're getting married. First of all, what's the sin? And
So
then
the first reason why we get married is because of one reason only, is because you have to understand, you need to find a common denominator. The common denominator between you and I has to be one thing and one thing only. That to me and you come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. That's the common denominator. Why? Why is this important? Because if you don't have that, then our lifelong goals will never be the same. Never. Okay, you like her. You're gonna want your kids to be raised what? How?
Jewish.
Every father at the end of the day wants to say, my kid is a Jew. This is still fact. But he's not. So he takes him to shul and he makes him the biggest Talmid Chacham. But is he a Jew at the end of the day? No. So then what did you gain? Because even though you'll fall in love with her, at the end of the day you'll fall in love with your kids more than you'll fall in love with her.
With your wife?
But
Really?
in general, why does God put you in a situation where you can get caught up?
God puts us in situations beyond our understanding why.
But if you
I'm answering your question. You have to learn to accept the fact that God is the creator of the universe And what he does is for our benefit. And even if he gives you a test, you should marry a dog, God forbid, I'm talking about an actual dog, you have to overcome it. There's a tikkun for sleeping with an animal too.
Yeah.
It was actually a very common thing.
Back in the day.
Bestiality.
Why was that a very common thing?
You can ask your grandparents. In Uzbekistan, they used to sleep with their pigeons.
What?
Promise to God. They used to go. That's sleep, actually. They used to go to the shuk and they used to do what they did with the pigeons. I promise to God. You can think I'm mental. I'm not mental. The Gemara talks about it. Also, the Gemara talks about how they used to do with the animals. Someone showed me a video. I didn't see that video, but someone showed me a video. Listen, how a news reporter was doing a documentary about a certain country, like in Guatemala or something like that. And while he's taking the video, he sees a young boy, the age of 14, doing averot with a donkey. And he was shocked. So he goes to the head of the village and he says, is it
The norm?
did I just see what I saw? Is it real? You know what he said? In this country, we say a man's first love is his donkey.
God.
You know what I just told you?
That's insane.
In some countries, these things are normal. Now you think I'm crazy, right? I think what I heard was crazy.
I'll assume you're great son.
But he on the other hand doesn't think it's crazy. He thinks it's normal. Nowadays, Habibi, nowadays, this is not. The Quran says black and white, Yimach Shemam, that if you have a tava, sleep with your neighbor's animal, not with your own animal.
What?
Can you imagine? It says it in their holy book. Their God says to sleep with animals. Can you believe that crap?
Is
The
that
book of
correct?
God, Gabriel gave it to Muhammad.
Technically, they're right because they are animals. So.
Can you believe that? Don't sleep with your with your sheep. Take your neighbor's sheep.
They have some service.
Can you believe that?
There's no context behind it. It's black
You
and
know what the
white.
Gemara says? The Gemara says you can't even leave if you're traveling. You can't even leave your animal for a goy to watch it
You don't know what he's gonna do to it.
because you're scared he might come and do another out with it. The Gemara Sachem Masachet Avodah Zarah, third parak, black and white. We don't leave an animal with a goy because we're scared he might do a sin with it. And it's part of the Shem Mitzvot B'nai Noach.
What?
Arayot. A goy cannot sleep with an animal.
But already once the sin of marrying a goy is done, it's officially done. Especially if you have kids, you can't really go back from that. I'm saying what God tests us with certain things like Shemat Tabri.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer you. You're wrong. I had a guy in the shul. Whatever the case was, he had certain issues. His parents, blah 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 blah. He married a goya. He was chozer b'tshuva 20 years later. 15 years later, he has 3 kids from her. 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever the case is. They're already older. When he was chozer b'tshuva, he asked her, "Do you want to convert?" She played him like a dreidel. He said, "Even though I love you, and I will do anything for you, we have to separate." He's separated from her. He has kids from her, older kids. He's separated from her, and he just got remarried. But I want you to understand, when you say there is no turning back, there's always turning back. There's always turning
How
back.
do you rectify that sin? I'm assuming that's after like 120.
If
you
you
know?
kill a person, there's no turning back.
Of course, there is even for killing someone, there's teshuvah.
You
It's
just
close.
but the master is done already.
Yeah.
Same thing we learned this from Adam and
Correct. There is when you murder someone, you can never bring him back. What you could do is you can be le'elui his neshama. For example, let's say someone does an abortion, Rahman al-Islam. An abortion. Of course, halachically, there are certain circumstances that you could do an abortion if it's the
Rape.
no, not rape.
Not rape.
I'm sorry, not rape.
Word of the word.
No, if it's the life of the mother is in danger, if the mother's gonna die, there is certain halachic circumstances. Not rape. Oh, they made a statistic. You want to hear the statistic? You can look it up. A woman that got abortion from rape, and a woman that kept the kid from rape, the woman that had the kid ended up having more sanity than the ones that kill their kid.
At least
Because
something
that
good came out of it.
child gave them at the end of the day a hope to continue living than the lady that got the abortion and it was forever blaming her circumstances.
Wow.
Everything HaKadosh Baruch Hashem should never test anybody. Don't get me wrong. Don't ever get me wrong. But you have to always look at the positive of everything. Let's continue. What was I saying? Oh,
Killing a person.
killing a person. There is a sense of certain rectification if it's doing stuff on his name, raising his kids. Let's say he didn't have kids. Do mitzvot for his lelu nishmat. I don't think anyone here ever murdered anybody. But I'm just saying there are certain things that you could do. Of course, it's never ever going to be complete. But that's when you have to ask someone to give you a rectification for that.
Did you say Kaddish for the person you killed?
Your Kaddish won't do anything. The only Kaddish that really matters, I'm sorry to say, is a son's Kaddish. A son's Kaddish for a parent is so strong. If a child would know how important his Kaddish is, he wouldn't just say it for the first 11 months.
You can keep saying it?
Sure.
Australia, Shtama.
Both.
Really?
Because once you're a Yatom, you can say it.
For not just for the year, just for like forever.
I'm not telling you to do it, ask your local rabbi. But if you knew what you can do for your parents, you would never stop. You're rectifying, you're fixing, you're building. I don't know why we got such a gloomy topic. I'm going to finish with this thing. This story I heard. Ready? I heard the story, I really liked it. One of the Rosh Yeshivas of Mir, he passed away, I forgot his name. Or Panovich, I forgot. I have to find his name. He used to go to the mental institution to visit people. And one day while he's walking, he hears in one room, they're yelling and screaming. God, scary to hear. And the rabbi goes to the front desk and says, is this guy getting taken care of? Why is he screaming like that? And the nurse said, no, we're waiting for him to do his time to die, and you know. So he said, why aren't you taking care of him? He said, because over here, if you don't have family that visits you or someone that can sign off that you know the person, we don't give medication. We don't help. So the rabbi says, can I see the patient? And he says, sure. He opens the door, and the Rosh Yeshiva looks at the guy, and he starts screaming. He's saying, Nachum, is that you? And the guy said, yes, that's me. And he looked at him, he said, he goes to the nurse, he said, I learned with this guy in Cheder when I was a kid. There's a Holocaust survivor. He came to me, hugged him, he kissed him, and he starts signing his papers. He says, I want you to start taking care of him. I know him. Okay? He used to come every week to visit this friend that he knew. Every week. And the rabbi passed away. And this man was left with no one. And this man told the nurse, you want to know the truth? I don't even know who that rabbi is. I don't know who he... My first time seeing him was in the mental institution. I don't know who he is. But the rabbi told me that since they didn't want to take care of you, I had to pretend that I knew you. And now that I pretended that I know you, I knew they were going to take care of you. So the rabbi every single week used to come take time out of his day to see me, just because I should go and get my help that I need. You see, we don't understand in our day-to-day life who we stumble, who we meet, who we see, and how our little affective hi, how are you, what you're doing, and so on and so forth, can make a change in someone's life. I'm gonna finish with one more thing. That same student that I told you about that opened up a cash advance office and so on and so forth, and now was very successful. At one time in his life, he wanted to kill himself. I remember him calling me and said, "Rabbi, I am done with my life. I'm finished."
What happened to him?
It doesn't make a difference. What?
Who's
Oh wait,
that?
1 second. I remember these phone calls I used to have with him. Today he came to me and he told me, and it's such an amazing feeling. And he said, "Rabbi, you saved my life. You saved my life. You gave me a reason why to go another day. You allowed me to think that there's hope. And today, all those people that put me down, I take care of every single one of them." And who put him down? His father, his mother, his grandparents, his siblings. He said, "Today, I'm everyone's breadwinner. Today, I make sure that he doesn't have to pay a bill." And you know what? I do it not because to shove it into their face. I do it because I really love them. Because you taught me what it means to be unconditional. In your day-to-day life, you have to understand that we have to be unconditional to God. A deal goes, thank you Hashem. A deal doesn't go, thank you Hashem. You walk across the street, someone spits at you, thank you Hashem. I'm going to give in and not do something that I don't want to do because that's what you wanted, thank you Hashem. I'm not going to have my first dance in my wedding because I know that's what Hashem wanted, thank you Hashem. You want to know why? Because it's not about me. It's about the mission. It's about the mission. It's not about me. I was the one merited to have the responsibility, to have the mission, but that doesn't mean it's based on what I feel. It's based on what God gave me to do. Does anyone have any questions? You do?
Topic,
Go ahead.
So you know how you get like in the beginning you get like this like burning passion for whenever you start like learning Torah and stuff like that, but then the passion dies down and it's just like a roller coaster up and down.
Yes.
Is there a way to like reignite that passion whenever it's down?
Yes. You have to learn things that interest you. The Gemara says, "Ein Adam," a man doesn't learn only what his heart, ma libo chafetz bo, whatever his heart desires.
So
Even if it's chumash.
no, but I'm saying like let's say you're learning what interests you, but you have this like it's not the same. You're just
So
spacing out
you need a chabura. You need a group.
a group.
Yeah. It's very important. Chabura, friends, guys, it's very important. I'm a very big advocate for it. Chaburas are good.
And what about like it's the same thing goes for roles reversed for women.
A woman is a bit trickier because unfortunately we don't emphasize too much on women in this community or in any community, I'll be honest with you, which is a very big no-no. I feel that's very bad. I feel that there should be women that are smart enough, that they have derech Torah, that should give more attention to girls. I don't do it because of different reasons. But I think a woman needs to have a chabura too. But the problem with a woman chabura is, I'll tell you what it is. Women are not grounded in nature. They're very emotional. Only a woman that's so grounded in her beliefs can be a leader. Why?
Give an example of that.
Grounded in her beliefs means a woman that won't start making decisions based on her emotions. No, she is a woman. She just has a good guidance. You see, what's a good wife?
Obedient wife.
What is obedient? What a dog is obedient.
As if from dog can't cook or clean.
No, then you got it wrong. That's not why you need to get a wife. We read this week's parasha. Our job is to what? Feed her, clothe her, and take care of her. Feed her! That means if she doesn't know how to cook, who cooks?
We cook.
You cook.
Me?
Yeah? It's your responsibility, not hers. You're gonna say it's not true from today to tomorrow. I promise you, if your wife's gonna tell you, Johnny, fly a kite and not cooking, you know what you're gonna do? Where's the kite? That's what you're gonna say. You're gonna go outside, buy food, right? Right? You're not gonna go now. You don't live. Let's be honest, guys. Let's hit reality. We don't live 150 years ago. We don't. We don't. I'm sorry. We don't live in a time that you'll just do and already the woman knows what's already flying. You know what? You also don't want a wife like that. You don't. Because you know what you actually have? You have a slave. You don't have a wife.
Yeah, but what is
I'm sorry to tell you this. It's so much more enjoyable when you can have someone that can give you her honest inputs, and that's, of course, if she's not competing. Again, there needs to be a balance. That doesn't mean now that you want a wife that's normal, but in the same time, she's always competing and she says, I make the decisions. And even though she's a very obedient before she gets married, after they get married, everybody changes.
Good or bad?
Both. 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 Nothing is predictable. Nothing.
So it's all a lie.
Nothing. No, it's not a lie. It just, everyone before they get married, they just acted different than after they get married. And it's not because they're different, it's because those two people are who they are. It just one is trying to impress and always be on the best behavior. And then the second one is they let their guard down. So certain things come out. But that's why there always needs to be a reminder of we're working on it, we're doing it together. Communication, focusing. We're not going to talk about that. You're not ready to get married, right? So communication and focusing on each other and spending time together. I always tell my wife, I'm going to Eretz Yisrael. Next week there's not going to be a shiur. I'm going to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going with my wife. I just came back from Panama, right? I just came back from Panama. That was a vacation. This is not a vacation. And I told my wife, I said, listen, I have to go. We spoke about it. She said, go. You think you really got to go? It's for work? 100%, I'll let you go. And then I said to myself, what the heck am I going to do to myself? I want my wife to come with me. I want her to enjoy and see the hard work I'm doing, that she should also understand that she's a part of it. It's not just me, it's her, the fact that right now it's 10:30 and she's giving up her time and she's with the kids and she's running around and she works at the mikveh at night, she works in the day, that she's giving up her time to allow me to do what I do. So what, I should only enjoy in the glory and I should just leave her on the sidelines and once a year say, I want to say happy birthday. Thank you for my wife for letting me do everything that I do. No, I'm a man. I'll say the truth. Thank you every single day. If I'm going somewhere, I want you to come with me. You know how many of my friends told me, you have 4 days without your wife. I said, what am I going to do there myself? What am I? A coon? I'm not gonna finish. What am I? I'm a man. I need my wife with me. I wanna do things. I know I'm gonna be busy. I'm gonna be running from this yeshiva to this appointment with this Rav, with this organization. I know my schedule already. But I also know in the same time, if I can't share it with the person that's the most close to me, and we can be happy about it together, then who else am I gonna share it with? Who am I gonna? With you? That you're gonna be happy for 24 hours and then call it a day? You're happy. I know you help. You do things behind the what's it called? The doors. You do a lot. Everyone does. But at the end of the day, right? You're spending majority of your life with this human being. How can I neglect her and say you're only here to cook and clean? A dog cannot cook and clean. You know how shalka that makes me feel? That's how we think about women. We think that women are here only to cook and clean and take care of us. Then you're a I don't even want to say it. You know why? Because if a man doesn't know how to cook, clean, take care of himself, better that he shouldn't even be born in this world. Because if that's why you need her, you're not a man. You're a child. You're a baby. You gotta grow up. Real men know how to do everything. And they give the honor that their wife can do certain things. But if the wife can't do it, I'll do it, no problem. What's the problem? You don't need to cook. Don't worry. You don't have to cook. You know, psychology. When a woman feels, I'm telling you the psychology now behind it. When a woman feels that she can do something better than you because you're unable to do it, that's a sense of control her over you. But when a man can imply to her that you're not in the mood of doing certain things, no problem, I can do it myself. You know how that makes them feel? Oh my God, I'm worthless. I better do something because tomorrow he'll just leave me and have somebody else. Why? Because he really doesn't need me then. Because if you can cook and you can clean, you can do the laundry, you can take care of the kids, then what am I here for? So it's not the way you think, but it's the exact opposite.
She's already locked in the ring zone.
It doesn't make a difference. Anything that was once put in can always be taken off. Rahman and God forbid, we're not talking about that, right? But if in her mind she knows, I gotta do it because he's gonna do it, you know what kind of feeling it is when a woman knows her man can cook better and do stuff better? You know how always she tries hard to impress? It's an unbelievable feeling. But if a man says, he acts like a shute, like a nastayashi debil, and he goes and he does and he tries to be primitive, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen? Now, of course, you can't take advantage and so on and so forth. You have to be a Adam, you live with the person. But at the same time, you also have to understand that it's your responsibility to take care of that girl, that gem, that flower that another man raised her and gave him to you. I told one of my students, he used to also make fun of me. I said, I promise you, mark my words, you're gonna have 7 girls before you have 1 boy. 7.
Wow.
He's on his 3rd girl.
Oh.
0 boys. You wanna know why? Because until you're not gonna learn how to appreciate your own daughter, you're never gonna learn to appreciate your son. What do you think women are? Garbage?
Oh, that's so.
I'm very right-wing man. But being a right-wing man doesn't mean now that I have to desecrate women. No, I have to validate exactly who they are. I don't believe they can be men. I'm not the rainbow man. I don't believe that. I believe that men can do everything better than a woman. I do believe that. But I also believe that if you don't give them respect, love, honor, and cherish them, then it's disgusting. What kind of man are you? So change that view. They're not here only for that, to cook and clean. You said only dogs could. I'm just elaborating that.
Rob, you know why I think that view comes like into this generation?
Why?
It's because a lot of the discipline that the parents are giving or that they go through within like all the social
Correct.
media.
Correct. That's why I'm here to change that.
Thank you, Rabbi.
That's exactly why.
Sure.
I'm telling you this right now, and I've been saying it in my lectures for years already. You can look back. I don't desecrate women. Absolutely not. I feel that if a woman desecrates herself, she should be put on the spot. But in no way do I think that a woman should be put in the garbage. They're the most cherished beings on planet. That's why when I see a woman, they do these stupidities and they act provocative, I look at them and like, you're devaluing yourself. You're making yourself look like a schmuck. You think those guys appreciate you? They'll want to bang you, but they'll never want to wife you.
100%.
Ever. Ever. They will never think about you as a wife. They'll think about you as a hoe. That's the difference.
And
I'm sorry I'm saying these words, but this is the reality. And the more you deny it, the stupider you are.
It's very hard not to deny it. And I'm not saying that I deny it, but it's very hard not to deny it. What's it called? That I don't deny it. But it's very hard not to deny it because these type of girls, it's more flooded. Like it's more, and they're much louder.
That's your answer. It's not that they're flooded. They're more expressive. They're louder. They make rash.
No, I mean, the wives are also more disciplined. And the discipline is like very rare to find in a person.
Correct. That's why you have to self-discipline yourself.
Except for the one side.
Okay, guys. Any other questions? No.
I didn't finish my question.
What was your question? Go ahead.
The question earlier, I said for the the energy, like whenever you get like learning and doing like.
So I told you, you need a chabura. You need to find a group. And if you can't find a group, you have to create a group. And eventually, how I said, these classes are good, they give you inspiration. But Lamaisa, at the end of the day, and I say it all the time, you have to learn how to open up a sefer and learn. If not Gemara, Chumash. If not Chumash, a Midrash. If not Midrash, Halacha. Anything. Halacha is much harder to learn more than everything. But let's say basic Halacha. That's the most important thing. And hopefully maybe I'm trying to think, I'm looking into another day of the week to do something more intense, to learn from a sefer, to do it more like, not like lecture style, but more like a chabura style, to go through one by one. But I need some more time. I'm running. I might be, if everything goes as planned, the next 2 months, I might be flying to Israel every other week.
Wow.
What's happening in Israel?
I'm not gonna say, I'm not spilling the beans yet, but big stuff are happening. Big stuff only happen when you believe it's gonna happen. That's the goal. We have to change the world. We must. We must, both men and women. You too. That phone's not gonna change the world. I promise to you. You're gonna change the world, but not the phone. Big things are happening, but it only happens when you take action. You know what they told me in elementary school? They told me I'd be the biggest bum. You know what they told me in high school? I remember my Rebbe, until today, one of my Rebbe, he used to put me down black, straight up. Now when he sees me, he stands up for me. Not that I care about it. Not that I care about it, but you always have, if no one believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. That's the key. The key is to believe in yourself. I will succeed. I will succeed. I will make it in life. I will progress. I'm talking already for over an hour and a half. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Amen.